Also continuing to track this story out of Libya this morning because still no answers with 9 days left before the election on what happened in Benghazi over that botched operation there. And last night on Judge Jeanine Pirro's show, a really poignant interview, guys, with Charles Woods. He is the father of one of the slain Navy SEALs who was there during that event and wants to know who was responsible for the murder of my son. Who should have been answering the calls to get people in there to help. Take a listen.
I couldn't understand. Why did they allow them to die? Why didn't they send help? I don't know anything about tactical weapons or anything like that, but I do know that they could have sent something, and I've been told it would have been a C-130, that within 45 minutes could have secured the perimeter.
From Italy, right across the Mediterranean,
wherever,
within an hour.
Wherever, and secured the perimeters, and not only protected the lives of those 30 people, but also the lives of the individuals that were also heroes besides my son, who sacrificed their lives. This was not necessary. I knew this could have happened, and my question in Washington, D.C. was, why didn't this happen?
Absolutely. And what he was reacting to was the news that Jennifer Griffin, our correspondent down in Washington, broke on Friday, which was when the shots rang out at the ambassador's residence, some guys who were working for the CIA, they were about a mile away over where the CIA was parked, and they said, we're going to go help those people. 3 times they were told by the people who had control of them, no, you're not going, stand down. 3 times. The people who were at the consulate were simply asking for some air support. Send a gunship now. It never, ever came. And so what Charles Woods was saying was, who made the decision not to save my son?
Right.
Because somebody said, no, can't send him in there. They asked 3 times, denied 3 times.
And the story just gets more and more frustrating and heartbreaking for the parents like Charles Woods there, because first, you'll recall, they wanted to know why wasn't there more security on the ground when it was initially asked for before the September 11th attacks, when the guys on the ground said the situation here is worsening. The ambassador said the situation is worsening. We know that there have been these targeted attacks on Western targets. So that's the first frustration that he had, where he thinks that his son could have stayed alive had there been more security on the ground. And then now to know that in the middle of the gun battle, that for whatever reason, the CIA said, no, stand down, we're not going to send any backup. And that is a mystifying decision.
And he spoke, Charles Woods, the father of Ty Woods, the Navy SEAL killed there, speaking directly to the president, because as the president said in that debate, look, if the responsibility stops with me, because remember the question of him about Hillary Clinton, and he said, no, she works for me, it's all on me. So Charles Woods last night speaking directly into the camera and right to the president of the United States.
If it was you, Your Honor, I totally forgive you. But for your benefit, I would want you to turn your life around and head the other direction so that blessings can continue to flow into your life. I want the best for you, and that means you need to stand up, admit your fault, and then change the direction of your life. I love this country of ours.
By the way, I just want to say one last thing about this. His son, Ty Woods, was one of the people who was told at the CIA annex to stand down, and he finally ignored that order and went over to try to save people, and successfully did at the consulate.
That's
and
right.
then he was killed back at the CIA annex.
You know what? He wants answers, but we're not going to get answers before this election. I know that people on the political left, they go, give it time. Keep in mind, it has been 6 weeks since they murdered our folks at the consulate. It's been 6 weeks. You go back 10 years to September the 11th, 2001. Within 4 weeks, not only had we figured out who the trouble was coming from, we were already launching airstrikes on Afghanistan. There's videotape, there's audio tape. They have connected the dots, but it looks to many like there is a cover-up and there's stonewalling, and we won't hear jack until after the election.
The Obama administration is facing more criticism over its botched response to the Benghazi consulate attack, and the president appears to be dodging questions about the issue.
The election has nothing to do with 4 brave Americans getting killed and us wanting to find out exactly what happened. These are folks who served under me that I had sent to some very dangerous places. Nobody wants to find out more what happened than I do, but we want to make sure that we get it right.
Okay, so that's what the president said. He dodged the question. Twice he was asked by the reporter out at KUSA, were they denied requests for help? We're talking about the people who were pinned down in Benghazi. Joining us right now, Pennsylvania Congressman Mike Kelly. He's a member of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Good morning to you, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning, Steve.
Jennifer Griffin's story on Friday. Security officers working for the CIA heard the gunshots. They said, we're going to go over there and help them. And they were told 3 times, stand down, you can't help them. Somebody failed miserably to protect those people, and 4 are dead.
Well, you know, we are a people of faith, and the weekends we usually go and celebrate that faith. I listen to Father. You know, when you have faith, you have trust. I can't imagine our people on that roof having the faith that if I make the call, I can trust them. They're going to be here. They're going to help me. And you find out that that's not what happened. You know, I read a book years ago, The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, that said it's not about me. And if it's truly not about me, then you do everything in your power to help these people. We're finding out time after time that they knew it earlier. They knew it was going on. They've continued to spin this story. I'm surprised any of them can walk a straight line. They should be so dizzy. But why did we do this? Why did we let down those very people that depend on us so much? They were doing their job. We didn't do ours. We watched it in real time, and we turned a blind eye and a deaf ear. For a year, we knew this was a dangerous situation. My goodness, the International Red Cross left. And as Lieutenant Colonel Wood said, it was inevitable this was going to happen. We were the last flag standing. And he begged these people, please, extend our stay. We have to be there to protect our ambassador. Didn't happen. Tremendous loss of faith.
Congressman, you're talking about Lieutenant Colonel Woods, who testified in front of your committee, the House Oversight Committee, because you're trying to get answers, and you called these 2 whistleblowers, Lieutenant Colonel Woods, one of them, and you got some answers. Is there any way you can have another hearing in the next 9 days, because there are so many new questions?
Well, I have great respect for Chairman Issa. He heads our committee. He's a bulldog in this stuff. We're going to get to the answers that we need to have. This has nothing to do with an election or a re-election. This has to do with your responsibility as an elected official. How can we possibly turn our back on something so important? We let these people down. Why? Is it political? I would say it looks like a political. They didn't want to address something that was not optimal at the time for a re-election. It's absolutely appalling to me. And I am outraged, and we've got to get answers for the families. If we can't do that, why are we here? And this old saying, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Come on, guys, step up to the plate. You're responsible. Step up and do your job.
That would be great, and it would be nice to have answers within 9 days. But, Congressman, you know, what happened was the administration was caught flat-footed, because when they heard about the attack on our consulate, it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. We've been telling everybody that al-Qaeda is out of business, but there they are, alive and kicking.
Well, you know, I've watched this now. The evolution of truth, the fog of war. This is an administration that said they would be clear and transparent. It has been anything but that on almost every issue. We let down our people overseas, diplomats that rely on us for their security. This is a horrible situation. The American people should be outraged. It's appalling to find out what happened, and we lost 4 great American lives.
We did. Indeed.
Congressman Mike Kelly, again from the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right.